much the same. Combination into a release skill. Yeah, Simone made all four, actually 5 of the event finals if you include the all-around.
En dan die andere Amerikaanse gisteren.
She's got that smile on her face almost before she hits the ground.
So there are 3 gymnasts to go. So even if she finishes first right now, a medal is not guaranteed, and she's second. So now she needs a little help. 14.716.
She's not going to get it from this young lady right here. You can pretty much guarantee that. See that rank 2, she came in with the 2nd highest qualifying score. She just floats. Another big one. Beautiful. Being taller makes a lot of this more difficult, but it also makes it look more beautiful.
And she definitely uses that to her advantage. Great double out with a stick.
Well, I would think, Nastia, when you go through the ringer, that is the Marta Caroli selection process, you wind up being a survivor there. It just sets you up for moments like this.
And you know, Simone, Kyla's teammate, actually did say that Marta makes her much more nervous than these judges. So they come out here and they are ready to take on the world and the judges.
Well, you know, it truly is amazing how error-free a gymnast Kyla Ross is. I mean, you can watch her in a training and she'll just do routine after routine and you'll go, that was exactly the same. And there's never a blatant error.
Well, Simone Biles is, in essence, playing with house money. She already has 2 medals, a gold and a silver. She'd love a complete set. But Kyla Ross is second. That knocks Simone Biles down to the bronze medal position. And there are still 2 gymnasts to go. So Hwang Hyu-dan is in the gold medal spot. She's got to survive Aliyah Mustafina and Ruby Harold. To be in the mix, Mustafina would have to be better than she was in qualifying. By a fair amount.
Yeah, absolutely. And watch this straight off the bat. She does a skill that has actually been named after her at these World Championships coming up right here, which is now the Mustafina. Very difficult, straight into another connection.
Oh, but she didn't do it. She didn't connect it. And that's gonna take, I think, 2/10 away from her maximum potential score. Big dismount in combination. Step backwards
And you know, those 2/10s could definitely cost her either the gold, silver, or bronze medal.
yeah,
That wasn't just one step at the end, though.
no, actually it wasn't. She took one step and then another slide. There is the Mustafina, but right here, when she transitions to the low bar, she's supposed to go right back up to the high bar. Doesn't do it. And then let's look at the steps. One back, another back, and
Almost
a slide.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Simone Biles gets knocked out by Mustafina. Oh, you know, just aesthetically, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Remember, Mustafina the reigning Olympic champion on the uneven bars, and, you know, she could have done it.
So here's the 7th qualifying score, Ruby Harold. And she capable of finishing on the podium?
Well, really not. Not to be brutal, but she's got a very interesting exercise. She does 2 moves. This one right here, check this out. A full twisting pack salto from high to low. And watch this, I've never seen anybody do that before. Just doesn't have some of the aesthetics.
But she's showing great potential. And, you know, this is a great, very strong routine from her.
Without a doubt. I mean, a very unique exercise. That's not going to medal, though, right there.
And that's what the scoreboard says. China is going to get a much-needed medal, especially when you consider it's gold. The United States has its 6th medal of these World Championships. Simone Biles just misses. Earlier at these World Championships in Antwerp, Belgium, Jake Dalton won a silver medal. And if you follow these American men like Brandon Wynn, it's so easy to be happy that all their hard work and staying with this sport gets paid off, as it did on still rings.
Absolutely, and he is amazing on this event. You can't just be strong nowadays. You have to be unearthly strong, and he is that. Just great positions on all of his strength parts. You know, the American men had a very disappointing year in 2012. They led the field in the qualifying for the #1 team going into team finals, and then just really had a very rough day. Finished out of the medals. Only Danelle Leyva came away with an individual event medal in the all-around. Got a bronze. Still rings. Those babies shouldn't be moving, and you gotta stick the landing as Brandon does. His coach, Casimir Suarez.
And after the jubilation, the score stood up. Brazil with an encouraging gold. Brandon Wynn with a bronze. That comes after a commitment a year ago.
Right in the middle of the summer last year, we said, hey, let's continue. Let's load rings up this year, and let's come home with a medal. And, you know, it took a lot of work between me and my coach, you know, both of us just spending time in the gym, working really hard. But the work paid off, and it really feels good to see that, hey, you work hard, good things happen.
Back to where we stand now. The men are at the vault. Tell where he's from. Christian Thomas. He was a big part of that British celebration in London.
And he was one of the biggest reasons why they got it. And it was on this event right here, doing the same vault he's planning right now. A double pike somersault, super hard, and he stuck it in London. Wow, just like that. Wow. That's about as good as a vault can be done right there.
Oh, it seems unbelievable that after putting everything he has into being great in London, that a year later he can still do it.
And winning that team bronze medal in London at the Olympic Games in their home country has to be just even more motivation to come back at these World Championships and do even better.
Yeah, he got to sit with royalty because of that. This is a royal vault. Beautiful. And just Gymnastics 101, stick the landing, and he did. I don't know where they found 5/10s, but it's silly at times because it was a lot more perfect than that. This vault actually not as difficult. Some of the other vaulters we'll see later on do 2 vaults of that same 16.0 capability. This one just 15.6, but he does it great. so gutsy to do that vault that way because he's really trying to stick it, and he comes in on a blind landing. You can so easily sit this down, but he feels it so well, just that small hop back. He's bigger than the typical gymnast. He says his height and his weight gives him more power and the potential to go higher. So it's actually a plus on vaulting.
Still more gymnasts to come here, but for right now, Christian Thomas with a very solid score is in the top spot. Sergio Sasaki of Brazil. Like every country, they'd love to peak in 3 years.
Yeah, well, they've got an Olympic champion on rings, and he just defended that title, Zanetti. It's a very up-and-coming program. Big vault here. Really nice. Really nice vault. Popularized by a guy named Dragulescu. Not quite at his level yet, but super difficult. Arjen Dragulescu from Romania, world champion on vaulting. What makes this so much harder is he does that half twist at the end of the vault. We just saw Christian Thomas just do the double front. That half twist makes it just so much more difficult.
15-3-3-3. Great atmosphere in this building. Flags from just about every country you can think of. Romania, Germany, Russia, United States, Brazil.
Dan zit hij straks wellicht in de medailles. We gaan kijken naar de Braziliaan Sergio Sasaki.
Once again, this one, 4/10 lower potential score. So just by that alone, you know it's gonna go down on the second one. Great adjustment on that landing because he was way off.
Men's vaulting final continues. On NBC. Jake Dalton and Brandon Wynn have medals. Stephen Legendre would love to say he did too.
You know, after the Florex final in the mixed zone, I saw Stephen, and it's really the first time I ever saw him so upset with himself. He just hopped his way out of a medal. 2 huge vaults here, though. And that was great. Chest is a little down on the landing, but that is as good as I've seen Steve do this vault.
He just made it too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
And that should be about a 5/10 deduction, is that right?
Well, you know, at this World Championships, it doesn't look like they're doing that. Once again, that half twist, but as we mentioned, the chest is down. Just a small hop to the side, though.
Became 5th at the World Championships in Tokyo in 2011.
It's a punishing element on your legs. And his second vault is the same level of difficulty, super hard. He'll do the vault we saw Christian Thomas do, that double pike somersault. And he said it took him a couple of years to figure this out because, like on his first vault, he runs 100% speed. He said that he can't do that on this vault. He's got to tone it down or he misses what's called his block, or the bounce off the table. This is very new for him, and frankly, I think it scares him a little bit. Legendre.
Talk about facing your fear.
Absolutely. This is a big vault. As I said, he runs a little slower, gets a great block, lands, and one step back for this is going to get a big number. He's been in event finals on both floor and vault so many times, and he has been frustrated every time finishing out of the medals. I think this is going to, I think it's going to be enough to get him in there.
Well, if he finishes first or second, he's got a medal because there's only one more gymnast to go.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. I don't think anybody else did 2 vaults that were as good as that right there. He should be your leader at the end of this.
That looks like such a satisfied grasp of his hands when he was done. Like, thank you, thank you. There he is.
He battled some injuries earlier this year, so it is almost a satisfaction for him to get that medal and just, first of all, to be at the Worlds and now to be in this leading position.
And Christian Thomas is going to get a medal too. Let's see what kind of medal it is. Yang Hak-seong is the last gymnast to go.
And you saw that 6.4. This is his own vault. It's named after him. And if you got a skill named after you, it's really good. 16.4 start value. He'll leave the horse and do 3 complete twists. Off the charts. The step 4 and a little bit to the side, but that does not matter. Just huge power, great speed down the runway, great body position in the air.
Look at how much is going on.
That's crazy. He is world champion. He's Olympic champion. He's actually capable of doing another vault that he submitted here.
Oh boy, that's huge.
He submitted this vault, and it has a super high potential score as well. He hasn't done it earlier in the competition yet. We get a glance of that scoreboard. I'll be able to tell you if he's going to do it or not, and he is not.
Perhaps playing it a little bit safe to...
Yeah, he's just got to... Absolutely, he's just got to land on his feet. And he's been doing this vault for a long time. And he's gonna, right here, put it to the ground. That is a gold medal right there. 2 vaults, off the charts hard, done extremely well.
Champion olympique et peut-être
triple twisting
champion du monde.
Sukahara. He just, you know, the problem is you look at this and you say, oh, that doesn't look that hard.
No, I'm not saying that, Tim.
But he just makes it look easy. Finishes in plenty of time. Like I said, he submitted a vault to add an extra half turn on that, which would be 3.5 twists, which is just wrong.
And he's got it. It's a gold medal for South Korea, Yang Hak-seong. But Steve Legendre's got a world championship medal too. And so does Christian Thomas of Great Britain. Coming up next, the event final in women's floor exercise from Belgium. In Belgium at the World Gymnastics Championships, the American success continued on the balance beam. However, the gold medal was won by Russia's Aliyah Mustafina.
Absolutely, and you know, in the qualifying round she had some issues, but in the event finals we saw the Mustafina that we are used to seeing, poised and confident, and she was able to take the title.
And over the years we've seen it all in terms of the passion play and the desire to win.
Yeah, she was great. The last qualifier into the event finals, and she wins the gold.
And Simone Biles now has the complete set: gold, silver, and here a bronze.
This is cool. And she does it with reckless abandon.
That's a connection.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I think that right there, though, that was the biggest error she had so far at the World Championships.
Silver went to Kyla Ross, who's proving that no matter where in the gym you take her, she can pull it off.
Yes, without a doubt. And just her beauty and grace, and we keep talking about it over and over, but it's just such a standout when she's out there on the balance beam especially.
This is one of the reasons she got her ticket punched to the Olympic Games in London, was her prowess, but mostly her rock-solid consistency on the balance beam.
So Team USA having a World Championships to remember behind Aliyah Mustafa's gold medal. Also, Tim Daggett, the parallel bars, one of the specialties of American John Orozco.
And you know what's interesting is John wasn't initially selected for the world team. Danelle Leyva was selected to do parallel bars and high bar. He turned it down, and the first alternate, John Orozco, got the call, and boy did he deliver on this event. Just super difficult. Watch this right here. This hurts just thinking about it. Oh, so pounding on the arms. The thing that John has is his routine has such a variety of elements. Some gymnasts are really great in one area and they capitalize on that. They kind of overdo it a little bit, but he's got beautiful releases. He's got what we call underbar skills, like one of these right here.
Well, what this routine turned this World Championships into was one of the greatest in the history of men's gymnastics, and the fourth different male for the United States to win a medal. John Orozco, whose dream to succeed in this sport, was born in the Bronx, took a bronze medal on the podium here in Antwerp. After the smiles, he said this.
It's just great for my confidence right now, because I came in and I was like trying to redeem myself even from last year, and not being as competitive as before, and just trying to get back out there. This is my first huge meet since the games, so I think that since I did a good routine and I medaled, it's going to do great things for my confidence, and I'm just really happy.
And so this is where we are right now on the floor exercise event final for the women. And we begin with Vanessa Ferrari of Italy, who was the 4th ranked qualifier, but that score goes away.
And a lot of people thought that she should have gotten a medal in 2012 at the Olympic Games. She finished just out. It can happen today.
Well, we were talking during the break. I mean, Nastia lost a medal, 9 years ago by .006, and you still don't forget it, right?
Yeah, I actually got the silver medal as opposed to winning the gold medal, but it is just something that it sits with you forever, no matter what. Nothing can erase that feeling, and this is what she's trying to do. She's out here at the event finals and trying to win a medal on the floor exercise.
Great. Start to finish. Double twisting, double somersault. One of the first gymnasts to do this years and years ago.
17-year-old girl from Tokyo.
The ending, you love that. Leave those judges with a stuck landing as the last impression. This should get a medal.
Well, it puts her in first place right now with a 14.633. More Americans, more Kohi Uchimura, and Epke Zonderland on the high bar. This will take us to the end of the floor exercise women's event final. Plenty more gymnastics to come from here in Belgium. Well, what a year, guys. I mean, Simone Biles breaks out of juniors to win the big one, the American Championship. And now she comes to the World Championships and has the complete set of medals.
Here's a skill that's named after her now, the Biles. Excellent.
That is a very, very cool ending.
Another great routine. You know, like I said, she has dominated floor at every competition at these World Championships. Her potential maximum score is just so much higher than everybody else. So if she makes it through, almost impossible for others to catch up. Look at the heights she has. It's just crazy.
And here is that double layout. And at the very end, she does a half turn. First woman to ever complete it in competition, now named after her.
Dismounts with a super hard, full twisting double somersault. Many gymnasts at the World Championships were just barely able to do that as a mount. She does it like nothing as a dismount.
Kyla Ross there in the embrace, still to come. And Simone Biles styles her way to number one.
That'll be hard to beat, I'll tell you.
Well, we have 4 more gymnasts to go, so there are 4 chances. From Romania, Larissa Iordache.
But you see that, her qualifying score, 14.5.
good as Simone, and I don't think she'll be able to overtake her.
No, that would be hard to do. But the same mount that we saw from Simone, a double twisting double, lands very well, doesn't have the power that Simone has, but this is a really strong exercise. A lot going on right there. 2 flips, 2 twists. What I like about her is she really sees the ground well.
14-6, it ranks her 3rd for now.
Disappointing World Championships up until that moment.
Here's her teammate, veteran Sandra Izbasha.
And she actually, one of the main reasons why she is here after competing in London and winning that vault title is she was the defending titleist on floor exercise, but made a mistake in final and didn't want to end her career with a floor like that.
There's a real ballet feel to this.
Absolutely. Career, as I said, was Olympic champion in 2008 on floor exercise, came out of retirement, won the vault in 2012.
So now, can she leave with that?
Oh, that is devastating. Oh. A beautiful routine, lots of super difficult elements. I can't get this out of my head right here. Once again, her last piece of gymnastics. And that is no medals, no way.
Well, that makes you think that she's going to come back for another World Championships.
Now Kyla Ross, 2 gymnasts left, with Simone Biles sitting on top. Gorgeous routine from Kyla Ross. My guess is she'll have the highest execution score, the least amount of deductions of anybody, but she doesn't come to the table with quite enough difficulty. She's actually 8/10 less in
potential score than Simone Biles, but she does it so beautifully. Nice double pike. Great knees and toes in the air.
It's been a great World Championships for Kyla, coming off of the Olympic Games last year, and now she is a front runner for Team USA.
Wow, she's not even going to get a medal.
Yeah, it's just that score on the left right there, that difficulty score. Simone had a 6.5 for that. She's a 5.7. Every other athlete, I believe, in this event will be in the sixes.
Elizabeth Black. Can she take this away from Simone or not?
No. You know, I would have to say I don't think she can take it away from Simone. Between the difficulty and the amplitude that Simone has, it's gonna be very difficult.
Watch this pass right here, super hard. She's gonna do a 2.5 twist, and she'll connect that to a triple full. Never seen this before. Super hard. Of a point deduction. You know, it was a good routine, but she only does 3 tumbling passes. Most of the other athletes do 4, and so she might actually not have a 6-0 difficulty or better.
So they pop up the numbers, and that is not going to change anything for Elizabeth Black. But it's a big difference for Simone Biles as she grabs her 2nd gold medal of these World Championships. Then it's the Italian Vanessa Ferrari and Larissa Iordaki of Romania. The best way to end a gymnastics competition is for the men to fly. That happens next. The World Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. By P&G. And by Hilton Honors. Come dream with us. Oh, Sam Mikulik loved to have his high bar routine from the all-around back. He was flying. He was solid. He was impressive. And then, Tim, what happened? It all just collapsed, and the medal was gone.
Yeah, he had a technical error, and then I think he lost focus for a second, and it turned into a catastrophe. It took him totally out.
Well, for the American men, we've had a lot of hard-working gymnastics practice rewarded today. And he could be the 5th different American medalist if he can do the same thing.
Well, he can. He's actually, I think high bar is maybe his best event now. It didn't used to be, but you'll see right from the top. Watch these 2 big releases. Great. Better. Another combo right here. Perfect. And this is where he had his problem. Right here. Not today. a great exercise.
So much different than the all-around where he was forced to finish sixth. That's not going to happen today.
Oh, golly, that was amazing. That right there, that would have earned him a silver medal, I believe. And what a championships the U.S. men have had here. Big releases like that one. What Sam is so great at is sticking landings and that small little hop when you're in the event finals.
No room for error.
I took a hop in 1984 and I got fourth.
Sam McCoolin sets the bar pretty high, 15.566.
It's a great routine, a big score, but there are some crazy good athletes coming up.
Yeah, he's going to find out right away here.
Yeah, absolutely.
He won his fourth all-around world championship here. No one's done that until Kohei Uchimura.
What you got to look for is how perfect everything is. His toes, his knees, even on these huge releases. Right here in combination. Oh, God. I was about to say that was textbook, but I don't think they can draw it that pretty. Here, a little bit of a struggle. Not going to kill him, but certainly going to lose probably 3/10.
I thought the crowd reacted like he was showing off a little bit.
Yeah. Oh. Kohei.
Another performance to remember by the Japanese gymnast. If you haven't seen Epke Zonderland on the high bar, stay with us. Just a few more gymnasts to go at these World Championships in Antwerp, Belgium. It's been a good trip for Kohei Uchimura, winning the gold in the all-around, fourth time for that. Taking first place here with a 15.633 away from Sam McCoolin of the United States.
Remember, Kohei just stuck. Sam took that slight hop. If Sam had stuck, he'd have finished ahead of Kohei. And there are two great, phenomenal high bar men left to come, both gold and silver. This guy gold in 2012. Hambukin next, the silver. And he does two of the most radical, connected elements. It's just crazy. First one coming up right here. Great. One more right here. Another Kovacs into a Gaylord. He does have some form issues, but he is just silly difficult. Double-double. Oh. Wow. So look at this combination right here. That's called a Coleman, a full twisting Kovacs, and this right here, double flip with a half turn. Once again, it comes down to this. Don't move them feet.
Have you seen anything better than that today yet? No, you haven't. A 16 for Epke Zonderland of the Netherlands.
Just ginormous.
Couple of gymnasts to go. Is a very capable Fabian Hambuchen. He had the second best qualifying score, which goes away. It's all about this performance.
And you know what? He's actually capable of doing it. He starts, his maximum score is 3/10 less than we just saw from Epke. Beautiful. Do another big one right here. Wow. Not done in combination, but this one right here. Watch, 3 in a row. Into a front. Oh. It was so close in London between these two guys. A lot of people thought that Fabian, his cleanliness, deserved a gold medal. And this is spectacular. Oh.
Does he think he has it?
Oh, God, you just cannot hop around like that. Especially, you know, he gives up, I think, 3/10 to Epka in maximum score.
What's Sam Mikulak of the United States thinking right now?
Unhappy thoughts. Because this was just phenomenal. The hop on the landing. This is going to finish ahead of Sam, but it's going to be oh so close to Epka. This could go either way.
Hambuchen, the second spot, missing Sunderland by less than a tenth, so it was
the hop on the landing. You got to stick.
And Sam Mikulak is knocked out by tenths. And he can think of a little step here or a miss there. One more gymnast to go. As you're looking at Josimar Orlando Calvo Moreno. He qualified for the event final on the night of qualification. And it got him into the all-around when this happened.
That is brutal. That bar is solid steel, and he just took it on both of his shins. Could not finish the all-around competition. I'm surprised he's here. Amazed he didn't break anything. He does super difficulty, but I don't think he's going to have enough to challenge for a podium spot. Those 3 ahead of him are so great. But I'm just hoping that he can get through the dismount. It's really hard to shake something like that. Big release. It's all been good. Sometimes you hit the bar like that and you're never the same, especially if it happens when you're younger. Here it is right here. Tap is better.
Oh, you can see that hurt.
Yeah. But what a triumph after what happened in the all-around.
So Epka Sunderland wins a World Championship gold to go with his Olympic gold. Fabian Hambuchen the silver. Sam Mikulak of the United States just misses. However, 12 medals by the United States in these World Championships make it the most successful World Championships for USA Gymnastics. So a lot of congratulations to go around. Congratulations to Simone Biles, who's the all-around world champion, and to Kyla Ross, who was the silver right behind her. Coming up next, it's the Dew Tour, Toyota City Championships with Nastia Liukin and Tim Daggett, both Olympic gold medalists. I'm Al Troutman. We'll see you soon, right here on NBC Sports.